कोई नहीं नहीं, बस हम ही बैठे, हम देंगे घूम जगह।
Hello, hello. So can we start?
यस।
I'll request everyone to take their seats. A very good afternoon to all of you. On behalf of GPS Renewables Private Limited, it's my honor and privilege to welcome all our esteemed channel partners and all my colleagues to this meet. We sincerely appreciate your presence today and thank you for taking time to be a part of this important interaction. This meet has not been organized merely as a routine engagement, but as a deliberate effort to align ourselves on a shared vision and shared responsibilities. While contracts define the scope of work, it is culture, ethics, and integrity that define how that work is executed on the ground. Despite the chilly weather, dense fog, and prevailing pollution conditions, it is truly encouraging to see all of us gathered here today. Your presence reflects a shared commitment that goes beyond our comfort or convenience. We have come together not merely to interact, but to deliberate meaningfully on how we can collaborate more closely and more effectively in our collective efforts. This interaction assumes greater significance in the present context where the need of sustainable and renewable energy solutions is no longer a choice but a national responsibility. Through constructive dialogue, coordinated planning, and ethical execution, we aim to strengthen our collaboration in promoting renewable energy initiatives that contribute to environmental sustainability, energy security, and long term national development. By working together with a shared vision and common purpose, we can play a meaningful role in supporting the nation's transition towards cleaner energy and a healthier environment. Our collective efforts today and in the days ahead are a step towards not only achieving project objectives but fulfilling our responsibility to the society and to the country at large. Dear friends, I am sure many of you would have gone through the economic times today. There was an article saying that government proposes to invest around 5,000 crores in CBG plants, and therefore you and we have a great opportunity ahead in terms of the business what we both can have. This is today's news in economic times which I am trying to quote. And therefore, our efforts today is, see, when we are in an era when Reliance, they boast of completing the entire refinery in flat 36 months, then today probably we need to discuss how we can come together and ensure that our CBG plants are completed within a period of maximum 10 to 12 months. We can have meaningful dialogue today and reach to some sort of conclusion as to how we can cut short on this execution time. I'm confident that we will be able to reach some conclusion today. I would also like to state that we do not view contractors only as executing agencies. We consider you as partners in delivery. The success or failure of a project is not attributable to a single entity, it is collective. And therefore, accountability, professionalism, and mutual respect must flow both ways. Our expectation is simple yet non negotiable. Every contractor associated with us must operate with the same discipline, ethics, and responsibility that we expect from our internal teams. I would like to reiterate that culture is not written only in manuals or displayed on walls, it is reflected in daily actions at site. It is reflected in how supervisors speak to workers, how safety is enforced, how measurements are recorded, how bills are prepared, and how challenges are communicated. This is both ways. So we expect a culture of discipline, we expect a culture of respect, and a culture of transparency. Let me also assure you that integrity is the backbone of our organization, and it is an area where we will not compromise under any circumstances. We expect all records, whether related to measurements, billing, labor compliance, safety registers, or material consumption to be accurate, auditable, and truthful. Please understand that short-term gains through unethical practices lead to long-term consequences, including blacklisting, contract termination, and legal action. Our organization prefers to lose a project rather than compromise on integrity. Also, let me reiterate that safety is not a formality for us, it is a core value. An unsafe site is not only a risk to life, but also a reflection of poor management and weak culture. Any serious safety violation will invite immediate corrective and disciplinary action, irrespective of project progress. And at the same time, quality is not achieved at the end of the work, it is built at every stage. So, rework due to poor workmanship, negligence, or deviation will not be entertained as a commercial claim. Ownership of work is critical. Our organization believes in long term relationships. Contractors who consistently demonstrate integrity, discipline, safety consciousness, and quality execution will always find opportunities to grow with us. At the same time, repeated discipline, non-compliance, or unethical conduct will result in disengagement regardless of past performance in any project. To conclude, today's meet is a reaffirmation of our collective commitment to ethical execution, a strong safety culture, legal and contractual compliance, professional conduct, mutual respect and trust. We look forward to working with partners who share these values and are committed not only to completing projects but also to completing the right way. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to all of you and wish this meet to be meaningful, constructive, and aligned towards shared success. And therefore, I will reiterate that we would like to have your suggestions as to how we can live up to this nation's expectations when everybody is talking of completing 1,000 CBG plans by 2030. With this, thank you once again for being present over here. And let me also announce actually our co-founder, Mr. Manak. He was supposed to join this meet, but due to some medical emergency, he had to cancel his trip at the last moment. But nevertheless, he will be addressing us online. So I'll request Athar to please connect him online so that he can address the gathering. Athar,
So two perspectives is the sign in the name of Washington Act of India. So one term standard is others. I think term standard is it.
Yeah, you can go on meeting. I connected with कैमरा ऑन कर दीजिए हाँ फोन करना है
Please go ahead, sir. People are waiting.
Sir, you can start.
Sir, you can start. You say he is on mute.
Hello. जी. Yes. तो हॉस्पिटल में है.
Very feeble voice.
कल. जी.
Audio is not connected.
Okay, fine.
ठीक है सर.
The link has been shared with them, right?
Yeah, I've sent it in the management matters group as well.
Okay, fine, all right.
ठीक.
One second.
ठीक है. हो.
Okay, yeah. Good evening, all. I hope I'm audible to everyone. Can somebody just confirm? Atharva? Yes. Okay. So firstly, thanks for joining this meet. My plan was to also join in person today. Unfortunately, there was a medical situation at home, जिसके वजह से मैं आज नहीं आ पाया. But yeah, like I mean, had that not been the case, I would have definitely come like my other colleagues. The purpose of this meet is to just again exchange notes, hear from all of you what are the concerns. At the same time, also share with all of you where we are, how are things shaping up, right? And the idea is to do it from time to time so that we are all on the same page. As I mentioned, of course, the idea is to do it in person, क्योंकि ताकि कुछ महीनों में एक बार आपस में meeting हो सके. But at least other senior colleagues are there. Mr. Garg and team are there. Hari is there. There are a few other seniors as well who have joined there. Has Parag also reached? Can somebody confirm?
Not yet.
Okay, fine. So our group CFO Parag Parekh will also be joining. And now, so while our contractor partner management team have a very detailed schedule, I thought I'll just touch upon a few points which we did even in the last vendor partners meet in Mumbai. Some of you might have joined there, so it might be a repetition, but just highlighting a few points. Firstly, we understand that सारे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स में मे बी कहीं ना कहीं कुछ डिफरेंसेस ऑफ ओपिनियन होंगे, कुछ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स होंगे. दैट इज अ पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ ईपीसी. हमारे क्लाइंट्स के साथ होते हैं, राइट? बट the main objective of this session is to communicate that that this is not a permanent thing. In case there is an issue, in case there is a conflict, it is not because कि कि हम लोग जानबूझ के ये करना चाहते हैं. In some cases maybe genuine reasons होंगे, because at the end of the day we are also working for someone. It could be Reliance, it could be our joint ventures with IOCL, BPCL, and so on. So at the end of the day, we are also working for somebody else. In some cases, it becomes very challenging for us also if the support from our clients is not as expected, and to honor the same down below. I know, and I'm sharing it very openly. Last time हमने किया था. The idea is to do this, is to do the same here as well. To have a very transparent discussion, in the sense that, in simple terms, in certain cases, अगर हमारे clients से कुछ contractual कहीं differences हैं, for us also it becomes very difficult to ignore that when we are working with all of you, simply because we are also a first generation entrepreneurial company. We are not a family business. हम लोगों ने GPS कॉलेज के बाद स्टार्ट चालू किया था. ऐसा नहीं कि घर से कुछ सपोर्ट था. So in that case, if our clients are not supporting, it sometimes becomes a challenge to reflect that back to all of you. However, on the positive side, according to me, some of the issues that exist and which we will discuss today, my colleagues will discuss with you anyway, probably one-on-one or so. But the main point is, which I want to highlight is, in the scheme of things, it is those few differences of opinion are a very small matter. The reason I say so is, आज हमारे पास जो पाइपलाइन है वो इस देश में किसी के पास नहीं है, as far as TEPC companies are concerned. आप सबको पता होगा, 1-2 साल पहले Reliance came out with a very large bouquet of projects. Of course, GPS won the biggest chunk of those projects. We won 17 projects. Then others got around 10-ish. Few got 3-4. But there were some 5-6 people between whom all these projects were distributed, and we got the biggest chunk. But Reliance अगर हटा दें, उतने मार्केट में उतने फिलहाल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स नहीं आए हैं. The only company with actually a very big basket of projects with very good payment terms is GPS. That is because today we are the only company in the country to have joint ventures with both Indian Oil and BPCL. With Indian Oil, you might be aware, we have already initiated 9 projects. We have the approval to go up to 30 projects. So we shall be starting off with 30 projects very soon. All right, and it's a 50-50 joint venture. So we are equal decision makers in this particular joint venture. Similarly, we have a 50-50 joint venture with BPCL today. And these are not MOUs. बहुत companies ने MOU sign किए हैं, but एक MOU और एक joint venture में जमीन आसमान का अंतर है. Because to form a joint venture, we have to go through a very long process. Firstly, board को approve करना होता है. Then Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas उसको approve करता है. Then DIPAM, Ministry of Finance has to approve it. And finally, Niti Aayog. In a way, effectively, Prime Minister's office has to approve it. So it's a very long drawn process. On an average, it takes close to a year to go through all the steps and the final sign off and company formation. That's why I'm saying कि I'm not saying कि ये सारे जो oil marketing companies हैं और JVs नहीं करेंगे, definitely करेंगे, क्योंकि नहीं तो भी सवाल रेज करते होता है कि how can all OMCs form joint ventures with only one private company, which is GPS. Therefore, I'm sure that the OMCs will form JVs with others as well. पर उसमें टाइम लगेगा, क्योंकि हमने खुद वो साइकिल देखा है. वो JVs कम से कम 6 से 6 महीने से 1 साल दूर है, राइट? तो आज की अगर बात करें, अगले 6 महीने से 1 साल की अगर बात करें, इस पाइपलाइन की बात करें सीबीजी इंडस्ट्री में, आज एंड इन द नेक्स्ट 6 months to 1 year, एक ही कंपनी है जिसके पास ऐसा पाइपलाइन है, जिसके पास आइडेंटिफाइड प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, जिसके पास फंड्स हैं। आप सबने शायद न्यूज में देखा होगा, हमारे IOCL जीवी में, हमारे साइड में सोजिट्स फ्रॉम जापान हैज इन्वेस्टेड। सिमिलरली हमारे BPCL जीवी में सैमसंग CNT is the parent company of Samsung Group. Some of you might be aware it's a construction group. Electronics started much later at Samsung. It started as a construction company. Burj Khalifa से लेके Petronas Towers, बहुत सारे big super talls Samsung ने बनाए, and they have invested in a BPCL joint venture. It is not in public domain yet for a couple of reasons, but this transaction is also closed. So we are not only have we formed these joint ventures, but we have also raised funds to do enough projects. For our IOCL joint venture, few months back, for the first time in the history of this sector, we raised around $100 million, around close to 850 crores of fully non-recourse loan, जिसमें कि कॉर्पोरेट गारंटी भी देने की जरूरत नहीं है। तो ये पहली बार हुआ है। तो हमारे जॉइंट वेंचर्स बहुत सारे मिसाल पहली बार हासिल कर रहे हैं, कवर किए हैं माइलस्टोन्स। काम चालू हो चुका है, एज आई मेंशन्ड। इन शॉर्ट IOCL 9 प्रोजेक्ट्स चालू हो चुके हैं, अनदर 21 प्रोजेक्ट्स चालू होने वाले हैं। सिमिलरली BPCL, बस 2 दिन पहले हमारा पहला प्रोजेक्ट अप्रूव हुआ है और 7 प्रोजेक्ट्स कुछ ही हफ्तों में अप्रूव हो जाएंगे, because all the projects are identified and all the funds are in place. So roughly speaking, 30 with IOCL JV, another around 10 with BPCL JV are coming into the kitty very soon. It's a matter of a few weeks. Apart from this, our joint venture with Oil India is also approved. Again, it has gone through all the processes, just the company formation is pending. So there we will add another 10 projects. Similarly, moving on from OMCs, as far as CGDs are concerned, we have a JV coming up with IGL as well. We are not the only company to have a JV with IGL, but IGL's plans are smaller as compared to some of the larger OMCs. So another maybe 5 projects will come as a part of that. So in short, 30 IOCL, around 10 or so BPCL, another 10 Oil India, another 5 with IGL, and a few others. We recently bagged a project with Maruti Suzuki. We have projects with few other companies as well, some international funds. So mota we have right now an order book of 50 to 60 projects, and these are, in most of these cases, we are a 50% investing partner. Our parent company is the our asset platform Arya is the investment partner. Therefore, because of this, we can be assured of the right payment terms, the right cash flows and all. So the reason for mentioning what I'm saying right now is, maybe शुरुआती दिनों में कुछ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स में शायद कुछ ऊपर नीचे हुआ हो, कुछ challenges आई हो. There were a couple of reasons for that. First of all, projects were not standardized, right? Our designs were not standardized. Reliance was also getting into the sector for the first time. Today, many of these issues are sorted, but शुरुआती दिनों में maybe कुछ कहीं processes stuck थे, especially change order and all, उसमें काफी दिक्कतें आई थी क्योंकि काफी चीजें पहली बार हो रही थी. But आज जो situation है, खासकर हमारे जॉइंट वेंचर से केस में, every project is a replica of each other. That is the other very big point. तो सबसे पहला मेरा जो पॉइंट है कि एक तो 50 से 60 प्रोजेक्ट्स का वर्क ऑर्डर है हमारे पास, एंड ये पाइपलाइन आज किसी के पास नहीं है देश में. एंड we don't have any intention to keep identifying new vendor partners and work with 100 maybe 40-50 people. We have no such intentions. our preference would be to continue to work with most of you, right, and ensure that as we grow, your portfolio also grows along with us in this sector. Second, IOCL आज हम 30 कर रहे हैं, होपफुली टारगेट है 100 तक जाएंगे. BPCL 10 कर रहे हैं, वो होपफुली मे बी 40-50 तक जाएंगे. ये कंपनीज इतनी बड़ी हैं कि उनके लिए अगर जेवी इतनी मेहनत करके अगर एक जेवी बनाते हैं तो बस 10 की 15 प्रोजेक्ट के लिए उनके लिए भी सेंस नहीं बनता है. As long as we deliver, ये पोर्टफोलियो और एक्सपैंड होगा. तो in the next 2 to 3 years, these 50 to 60 will definitely become 200 as long as GPS delivers. So we also have a responsibility. But in short, what I'm trying to say is that there is a very big pipeline and you can multiply that, right? Assured जो 50 से 60 प्रोजेक्ट्स का हमारा ऑर्डर बुक है आज के डेट में, आप सारे सिविल इलेक्ट्रिकल सारे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स मिला के मोटा आप you can multiply by a figure of some 20 crores plus or minus. Electrical वो सब लेके around maybe possibly 25, so in the range of 15 to 25, that is the number per project. So there is a very big order book for all of you, right? And this will further multiply by 2 to 3 times in the next 2 to 3 years, right? And किसी ने अगर हमारी जो जर्नी है देखी है, आई होप आप लोग विश्वास करेंगे जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ. हमने इंदौर से चालू किया था, फिर रिलायंस और 17 प्रोजेक्ट आए, आज हमारे एक्चुअली में जॉइंट वेंचर्स हैं. तो अगर किसी ने हमारे ग्रोथ को देखा है, आई होप यू विल फाइंड दैट व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज बिलीवेबल. ये कुछ मार्केटिंग पिच नहीं है. आई हैव नो रीजन टू गिव अ मार्केटिंग पिच हियर. सो आई होप आप लोग यू विल फाइंड इट बिलीवेबल व्हेन आई से दैट ये बास्केट इजीली 150-200 तक ग्रो करेगा. एंड आवर टारगेट वुड बी कि ये पाइपलाइन हम आप सबके साथ शेयर करें, बिकॉज फॉर अस आल्सो इट मेक्स सेंस. इट सिंपली डज नॉट मेक सेंस फॉर अस टू कीप आइडेंटिफाइंग न्यू वेंडर पार्टनर्स, training them on biogas, updating them, sensitizing them about our HSC requirements, our billing procedures, and just keep on reinventing the wheel. It simply does not make sense for us. I'm saying that as a promoter to the rest of the promoters out here, हमारे लिए भी वो सेंस नहीं बनता है. तो हमारा उद्देश्य यही है कि आप सबके साथ वो पाइपलाइन ग्रो करें. That is one point. दूसरा है कि what has another thing that a very important thing that has happened is that, जैसा मैं कह रहा था शुरुआती दिनों में प्रोजेक्ट्स स्टैंडर्डाइज नहीं थे, क्योंकि सेक्टर में इस स्केल में दुनिया में किसी ने राइस स्ट्रॉ बेस्ड पैडी सीबीजी प्लांट्स कहीं भी नहीं लगाए थे इस स्केल पे. फॉर इंस्टेंस रिलायंस बास्केट में देखें, हर प्रोजेक्ट काइंड ऑफ अलग था. हमारे लिए भी वो काफी नई लर्निंग्स थी. पर एज फार एज आवर जेवीज आर कंसर्न, जो सब आप में से कुछ लोग ऑलरेडी हमारे साथ काम कर रहे हैं, जो लोग नहीं कर रहे हैं, आप लोग रियलाइज करोगे कि हर प्रोजेक्ट जो है एकदम सिमिलर है. एंड ये बस हम ही इंश्योर कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि एज अ जेवी पार्टनर वी कैन चूज विच प्रोजेक्ट्स टू डू. वी आर वेरी क्लियर टुडे एज अ कंपनी कि हमें 15 टीपीडी सीबीजी प्लांट्स ही करने हैं जिसमें प्राइमरली पैडी स्ट्रॉ हो, ताकि डिजाइन एवरीथिंग इज टोटली स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड, राइट. इट मेक्स बिजनेस सेंस फॉर अस. अगर मैं ओनली ईपीसी कंपनी हूं रहता तो मैं वो चूज नहीं कर सकता था. मुझे हर टेंडर के लिए अप्लाई करना पड़ता. एंड एज वी ऑल नो, एवरी टेंडर इज डिफरेंट. एवरी टेंडरिंग अथॉरिटी will have a PMC, सबके स्पेसिफिकेशंस अलग होंगे और हर प्रोजेक्ट अलग होगा. पर क्योंकि हमारे जेवीज के थ्रू हम आज ये ऑर्डर्स दे रहे हैं, हम लोग चूज कर सकते हैं कि प्रोजेक्ट कॉन्फ़िगरेशन कैसा होना चाहिए. दैट मेक्स जीपीएस टुडे अ वेरी यूनिक कंपनी. कोई भी कंपनी नहीं है, एथनॉल में भी ऐसा नहीं था ये सेम सिचुएशन. हम शायद ये बायोफ्यूल सेक्टर में एक लौती कंपनी होंगे जिसको क्लियरली पता है अगले 1-2 साल के लिए एंड पॉसिबली अगले 2-3 साल के लिए, अगर ये बास्केट बड़ा होता है 200 तक जाता है, कि सारे प्रोजेक्ट जो हैं सिमिलर रहेंगे. क्योंकि बाकी केसेस में कोई प्रेडिक्ट ही नहीं कर सकता है कि पीएमसी कौन होने वाला है, टेक्नोलॉजी पार्टनर कौन होने वाला है, वगैरह वगैरह. हमारे केस में हम ही टेक्नोलॉजी पार्टनर हैं, तो we know exactly what we are going to do, and we only have to select the projects. Our ARIA team has to select the projects, has to select the land, etc. So in short, every project is standardized. Now, what that means for all of you is that it makes your job also easier. शुरुआती दिनों में आप सबने देखा होगा, हमारे केस में भी मे बी certain things were not standardized. There were certain maybe mistakes we also made, right, in terms of certain civil structures, certain design approaches, etc. But we have learned from our mistakes, and most importantly, what we have converted that into a completely assembly line of projects. आज हम जैसे विजुलाइज कर रहे हैं, ये प्रोजेक्ट्स हम EPC नहीं करेंगे. It's like a manufacturing line of projects where every project will be similar, and that should also give you the hope, the confidence that things will be way better going ahead. So in short, what I'm trying to say is that हो सकता है कहीं कहीं में भी चेंज ऑर्डर की शायद सभी को नहीं, आप में से कुछ लोगों को दिक्कत होगी. एंड अगेन ये हम बहुत ट्रांसपेरेंटली करना चाहते हैं. देखिए कॉमन अप्रोच होता है कि ये डिस्कशन अलग अलग करें, वन ऑन वन करें, राइट. जब हम सबको साथ में लाते हैं, एक रिस्क ऑफ कोर्स रहता है कि आप सब में भी आपस में बात करोगे, राइट. बट आप सबको साथ में लाने का यही कारण है कि वी डू नॉट ऑपरेट दैट वे. हमने जीरो से चालू किया था. फाइनेंशियल ईयर 21 में हमारा टर्नओवर 18 करोड़ था. आप में से काफी लोगों से कम था, राइट. तो हमने खुद वो हम खुद वो जर्नी से गए हैं, ऑफ दिस होल EPC फेज. बहुत सालों की हमारी खुद की पीड़ा रही है अगर पैसा टाइम पे ना आए. सो वी कैन पर्सनली रिलेट टू some of the concerns that some of you might be having, and that is exactly why we are doing this session as a promoter in an open house, so that points can be discussed threadbare. So again, what I'm trying to say is that कि yes, शुरुआती दिनों में कुछ issues रहे होंगे, but वो deliberate नहीं थे. बस उसका कारण एक ही है, हमको भी प्रोजेक्ट वाइज अकाउंटिंग करनी पड़ती है. अगर किसी प्रोजेक्ट में फॉर सम रीजन कुछ कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है, इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर अस टू क्लोज दैट एज अ कंपनी व्हिच हैज ग्रोन ऑर्गेनिकली, जिसके वजह से मे बी शायद कुछ दिन तक वो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स कंटिन्यू करे. बट इन द स्कीम ऑफ थिंग्स, अगर आप कहीं कुछ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट फेस कर रहे हैं, it would be a very small number. That is what trying to say. Maybe किसी के केस में कुछ 10-20 लाख का होगा, maybe 1 करोड़ का होगा, मैक्सिमम शायद 2 करोड़ का होगा, वो भी मैक्सिमम साइड में कहीं कुछ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट के साथ. ये नंबर जो है कुछ करोड़ों में भी अगर जाता है, जो कि होना नहीं चाहिए, बट अगर करोड़ों में भी जाता है, it is a very small number compared to the pipeline that we have today. And that is our assurance that in the next coming months we will be working with clients which will be our own JV partners, where payment terms are fully sorted, where designs are totally standardized, where we have corrected all of our past mistakes. We acknowledge that we did maybe some mistakes. We have corrected everything of those. And from a cash flow perspective, my guarantee is that, it will definitely not hurt anyone. That I say as a fellow promoter, as a fellow entrepreneur. And in the meantime, it is also our assurance that कहीं कुछ छोटे मोटे अगर रिलायंस के केस में अगर कुछ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स हैं, कुछ PO issues हैं, we will sort that out, because Reliance is also has been very supportive, and they have been sorting out our issues as well. And as and when these issues get sorted out, we will ensure that the same thing gets passed on to all of you. And for that reason, today we also have, right after, as my colleagues mentioned, right after this in 5-10 minutes, we'll also have a few Reliance seniors join. They could not join in person because it was done in a short notice. However, we'll at least they will, some of them will join, like Sunil Chaudhary sir and a few others. Arvindam, who is the head of procurement at Reliance, they will also join in a few minutes to give all of you the confidence that if there are any contractual issues, any cash flow issues on the Reliance side, now in the last few days, Reliance has sorted most of our problems. Now that these problems are sorted, we will also ensure that that gets, passed on to you. The solutions get passed on to you. It did take a couple of months for us to sort out some of these, cash flow contractual issues with Reliance. But now, according to me, it's almost 50% solved. And maybe in the next 1 week, most of these issues will be solved, which my other colleagues out there will explain it further. So in short, just to summarize, I'm breaking the opportunity into 2 buckets, maybe 3. एक हो गया Reliance, एक हमारे joint ventures का, and बाकी नए projects. तो Reliance की जैसे मैंने बात करी, yes, कुछ certain issues थे. आज अगले session में we'll spend a few minutes to address that. We'll request the Reliance team also to address that. It's a matter of time. But most importantly, as I mentioned, and again just to summarize, अगर कुछ रहे भी होंगे, वो मेरा आश्वासन है कि ये बस थोड़े से समय की बात है. But most importantly, cash flow is the most important thing for all of us, and a bigger form of cash flow is coming from our own joint ventures, right? Which is bucket number 2. And bucket number 2 में जैसा मैंने आपको explain किया, आप easily check कर सकते हैं. बहुत सारी चीजें public domain में भी है. तो in short, ये जो 50-60 प्रोजेक्ट्स का पाइपलाइन है, ये अगले कुछ हफ्तों में ये ऑर्डर्स इशू होंगे. कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स का काम ऑलरेडी चालू हो चुका है, IOCL, BPCL, ऑयल इंडिया, IGL एक्सेट्रा वगैरह वगैरह. ये बड़ा जो बास्केट है, ये जल्दी आने वाला है. एंड होपफुली ये 50-60 प्रोजेक्ट्स का जो पाइपलाइन है, ये होपफुली 150-200 तक ग्रो करेगा जल्दी, राइट? एंड ये आता है तो ये आप सबके साथ हम शेयर करेंगे. एंड अगेन as I mentioned, you can be rest assured that all these projects will be totally standardized, and which will make working with us extremely easy. And then the third bucket would be this क्या कहते हैं, newer projects such as Maruti Suzuki etc. Because Maruti as an example, hopefully they have very large plans. So we have been successful in opening the important accounts. हम लोग छोटे-मोटे project developers उनके साथ नहीं काम कर रहे हैं, but जो important accounts है देश में, वो सारे हम target कर रहे हैं. Hardly हम कुछ miss कर रहे हैं, right? तो ये सब भी आप expect कर सकते हैं. So this is what I wanted to essentially convey with all of you. Apart from this, a few other points which I'm sure my colleagues will convey. When we last met with some of you in Bombay, we realized that yes, of course, billing side में certain issues हैं. Today, many of the things are digitized. My colleagues will probably touch upon it. If not, Hari or Garg sir, my suggestion would be please to give some case studies of how, if not all, many of our vendor partners are making use of the the bill, the digital bill submission platform, and how it is working very smoothly for all. Right. So my request would be to share a few examples of that. But in case somebody is not aware, just 2-3 minutes on that. Today we have been building our own ERP. All right. We have been building our own ERP for biofuel projects, for CBG projects. And the whole idea is that कि bill submission से लेके payment, progress tracking, ये सब कुछ standardized हो, सब कुछ smooth हो. इसका beneficiary बस हम नहीं होंगे, आप भी होंगे. क्योंकि again as a promoter मैं आपको कह रहा हूँ, आज आप में से कुछ लोग 2-3 प्रोजेक्ट पे काम कर रहे होंगे. आई एम कॉन्फिडेंट कि कुछ महीनों में आप सबका बास्केट में 5-10 प्रोजेक्ट्स का होगा, राइट? उस केस में ट्रैकिंग द एक्चुअल वर्क डन ऑन द ग्राउंड इज अ चैलेंज फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस. इट इज अ चैलेंज फॉर यू आल्सो एज अ प्रमोटर. समटाइम्स वी नेवर नो कहाँ क्या फाइनेंशियल लीकेजेस हो रहा है. There are colleagues whom we trust, but there are also people whom you never know. You always have this doubt कि सही में काम हुआ है कि नहीं, सही मटेरियल यूज हो रहा है कि नहीं, जिस चीज का आप नीचे पैसा दे रहे हैं वो वही चीज खरीदी जा रही है कि नहीं, etc. And that is where we feel digitization makes a lot of a difference, and that is where our platforms come in. At least it makes tracking and auditing very easy. So that's what I feel as promoters, you will also benefit from some of the, the systems we are setting up. The digital systems that we are setting up are not to make things complicated. On the contrary, it is to bring scale. On the contrary, as I mentioned, it is to ensure that, be it us or be it you, can track what is actually happening on the ground, and so that हम बस 2-3 नहीं 10-20 maybe more projects हम करें. So that's another session I request my colleagues to touch upon and make the most of the fact given that all of you are here. So these were a few things that I wanted to highlight. Maybe I'll take a pause here. If there is anything else I should touch upon, GPS team, please let me know. Otherwise, maybe we can then request the Reliance team to join. Hari or Garg sir, anyone? Is there anything else? Do you want to?
All the devices are on mute.
Yes, sir, I think we have touched upon all the points. Now I would request Hari sir. Reliance, okay.
Reliance.
Other link.
So which
Manoj,
one
that's
is
a different link. So maybe we can join the different link. Meanwhile, I'll check with the Reliance team.
different link? Okay, I'll check.
सारे ऑनलाइन ऑनलाइन मीटिंग है सब. और हम तो पार्टनर नहीं है. मैं पार्टनर बनूंगा. मैं बोलने वाला था ना भाई मुझे पार्टनर बना.